Howdy folks, Matt here. With the weather warming up and summertime on the way, it's almost time to start pulling your campers out of long-term storage, putting some water in them, priming your water system, and hitting the road and going camping. We wanted to make a video real quick to explain how to fill the camper up, how to prime the water system properly, and a couple of little things to kind of watch out for as you're doing it. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in the camper and get started. So now we're inside the camper, and before we start the priming process, there's a couple of things just to check out. First, we're going to jump down in our utility cabinet area and we're going to check our winterizing valve. This is also the main drain for the camper. If you look to the left of your batteries, all the way down in the basement, you're going to see a little brass fitting with a yellow handle. You want to make sure that that yellow handle is perpendicular to the brass fitting. That means that it's closed. If that handle is parallel and you turn your water pump on, you're going to pump all the water out of your tank and right into your truck bed. So no good. Make sure it's perpendicular and you're good to go there. The next place we're going to check is here in the kitchen cabinet. Just go ahead and make sure that your shower is turned off. Make sure that the nozzle for the shower head is also turned off. You don't want to turn the water pump on, start pumping water, and next thing you know, there's water coming out of here because your shower and your nozzle was turned on. So just take a look at that and make sure that it's closed. And then with that, we can go ahead and jump outside and start filling up the camper through the freshwater infill. All right, so out here on the passenger wall of the camper, you've got all your infills and ports here. We're just gonna unscrew the water infill. If your camper has the locking infill, obviously unlock it, take the cover off. And then we're just gonna stick our water hose right in there. We've got a fancy one with a filter on it, but it's up to you if you wanna use an inline filter or not. Just put the end of the hose in there, turn your water on, and just start filling it up. If you're doing this by yourself, you can just fill it up until water starts coming out of the infill. If you have a friend with you, you can put them on the inside of the camper and have them watch that water tank meter, but whatever works best for you. We'll just keep filling it until water starts to come out. All right, here we go. I can hear it filling up, and there we go. So, she's full. We'll put that little cover back on. And now we'll jump on inside the camper and start the priming process. All right, so now we're here inside the camper. We checked our main drain valve, it's closed. We checked our shower, it is indeed turned off. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and start the priming process. You also might wanna make sure that your gray water drains are closed as well at this point, because if that's draining in your gray water tank and your gray water drains are open, she's draining back into the camper. So be sure to check those gray water drains too. At this point, if you have a Nozzle H2O filter installed on your camper, you can go ahead and turn that stainless steel valve off. We'll prime that after we prime everything else. So Nozzle's turned off, drain's good, shower's good. We're gonna take our sink and we're gonna turn it all the way on into the hot side, so on and away from you. And with that, we're just gonna turn the water pump on and let it do its thing. So the water pump's turned on, and right now it's filling up the 2.5 gallon tank on the Truma hot water heater. So that's why it's going to take a little bit of time for that water to come out. Just let that pump keep going, keep pumping, and once that Truma tank gets filled up, it'll start coming out of the sink here. Sometimes it kind of helps to wiggle this knob back and forth as you're priming it. Kind of helps move back and forth between the two lines. There's really not a science to this. You just want to be sure that all the air is out of the lines. And sometimes it takes, 2 or 3 minutes for that tank to fill up all the way. Okay, so you can see there, a little bit of water starting to come out. We're just going to keep cycling it back and forth. Right now it's filling up the Truma hot water tank still. You can kind of hear it gurgling, and that's just that tank filling up, a little bit of air coming out. All right, so there comes our water out of the Truma tank right there. So once you see water start flowing out of the faucet, you can go ahead and start kind of wiggling that knob back and forth, go to cold, go back to hot, and as you do that, you'll kind of see that water pressure start to increase. You'll see some air bubbles come out of there. See your water pressure begin to get even stronger. And I like to kind of turn it off, turn it back on again, turn it off, let it push that air up, turn it back on. Just keep going back and forth until you feel like the system is completely free of air. So after you've primed the Truma side and the cold side of the camper, just go ahead and test it by opening that up. You should have some good pressure there. Check the Truma side, should have good water pressure there as well. We can go ahead and turn that off. If your camper has a Nozzle, then you're gonna have to prime this side, but if it doesn't, then you're done. That's all there is to it. But if you do have a Nozzle filter, you can go ahead and reach down, turn that valve on, and then simply open your filtered water, Let that run for a little while, turn it on, turn it off. You can even let both of them run to get any air out of the system. At this point, if you want to, you can go ahead and pull your shower nozzle out. Go ahead and turn your shower on and get any air out of that line as well. Just going back and forth between hot and cold once again, just cycling. Turn that off. And then once that is properly primed up, you should have the water pump turning off within a couple of seconds of you turning off the water at the sink there. If it continues to run and run and run, it just means that there's still some air in the line. So just repeat that process again. Turn the sink on, cycle back and forth, turn the guzzle on, cycle back and forth, swing on and off. And the more you do that, the sooner that pump should start kicking off when you turn the water off at the sink. So with that, that's the water system and how to prime it. It's super straightforward. Just turn the pump on, let this run, let the air come out, and then you're primed up and good to go. A couple things to keep in mind. Be sure that drain is closed. If you notice that a little bit of water is dripping out of your truck bed, not a problem. It just means that that valve may not be perfectly sealed. Just give it a little wiggle and it'll seal up properly after that. In addition to that, be sure that your gray water drain valve is also closed. If you're doing this priming system without a plug in the sink, that water is running into your gray water, so just be sure that those valves are also closed. That's how to prime the water system. If y'all have any questions, give us a call at 720-648-3419. Once again, my name is Matt. We'll catch you next time.